Hey, my mom. So give me like 2 seconds.
Yes, sir. Makes you wonder what the world's coming to.
Hello to all my nieces and nephews out there. Welcome to the basement. I am creepy Uncle Ray, just an above average contrarian hosting a pod stream where myself and a guest play a video game, have a conversation, and try not to be terrible at both. My guest today is Nitrous. Nitrous, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic.
That is good to hear. Nitrous, I'm just going to give a little backstory that you and I actually have never met face-to-face. And
Nope.
we actually know each other through my very first guest in the first episode, Hobegger.
Who is my boss?
Yeah, your boss, which is a little awkward
Yeah. A
for
little bit.
him, I guess, because he's just a weird dude. But, yeah. So how long have you known Hobegger for?
Well, last April when I got hired. I
Last
think it was
April. All
Yeah.
right.
I've been there about a year and a half, give or
All
take.
right.
So yeah, last April or so.
That's fantastic. Now, I do have a question about your job, about the place
Yes.
that you work. You don't have to tell me where it is, but is there a task that you have to do at your job that you hate, but you know that if you didn't have that task to do at your job, you basically would not have your job?
Kinda, yeah. So I work in IT. I work in help desk.
Okay.
So that's part of my job. So a lot of like meaningless tickets, like not working.
Sure.
Those
Sure.
menial tasks, I wouldn't have a job. Like if I wouldn't have a job without this. That's like the basis of my job. The more that happens, the more content I am at having a job.
Makes complete sense. Now,
Yeah.
I'm going to put us into a game. We are going to be playing Call of Duty World War
Domination.
II tonight. I'm going to do Domination because I haven't played that in a little while. Basically, as some of you listeners, some of my nieces and nephews out there know, that I work for the United States Postal Service, and I don't have any problem saying that because it's a job.
There's a lot of you.
There are, well, I mean, is that a fat joke, Nitrous? Is that what you're trying to do there? What's going on? It's a meaningless shot.
I didn't say there is a lot of you. So there are a lot of you.
Right. Fair enough.
Semantics. Oh,
I guess.
fuck, this game's loud.
Yeah, I turned it way, way down for myself. Hopefully you can still hear me. Anyways,
Yeah.
my meaningless, and it's not meaningless, I guess, if the way I actually form the question makes any sense. I deliver a lot of packages every day from I think, not, if it's not the largest company in the world, it's definitely up there, called Amazon. Now,
I've heard of them.
yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have. And they are scary because they just basically feels like they're taking over the whole world. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea, but it definitely feels that way. Now, if I didn't have all those things to deliver every day, obviously I would not have a job. But you being, the epitome of a millennial,
Fair.
how much of your life would you say Amazon owns? All of it? None of it? There's at least a portion of your life that they own, correct?
Yeah, when I was building my computer recently, I didn't look anywhere else.
Okay, so
So
you shop basically online through. Do you have Prime?
yes, so I
Okay.
saved probably $400 in shipping.
Right. I also have Prime. Love Prime. Love. I
Hmm.
actually even enjoy some of the uh, television programs they put out, even
Yep,
though they don't
big fan
even.
of Grand Tour.
Yes. There you go. And for some reason, they want to own everything to the point where
Hmm.
they bought Whole Foods.
Yeah,
Now, when
they
they
practically
bought,
own Twitch too.
yeah, they own so much stuff. It is a little scary. But so today, average day for me, and we on a normal day deliver anywhere from 25 to 35 packages.
Uh huh.
I did 80. And I'd
Oh
say a
fuck.
good 90% of it was all Amazon. And
It's
again,
that time of the year.
I know I have Prime. Like
Uh huh.
love having Prime, like I said, but I don't know what their end game is because it just seems
Taking
like
over the world, man. Pinky
yeah.
in the brain.
Oh, I love Pink in the Brain. That's a good reference. But
Right.
like
Full of those.
what
Oh, there's some asshole in our spawn.
oh okay. What oh yeah, he's right behind me. What do you think? What do you think the next move would actually be for them? The like I said, they bought a grocery store. They're definitely gonna start delivering groceries at some point. All right, I got the guy on
I
the
mean, they
spawn.
kind of already do with Fresh Now. I can order from local grocery stores.
Local grocery store in my area that you can. They actually have a program called Peapod, and you can just order groceries and
Ours
do
is
that
through.
too.
Ours is actually through Amazon.
Are they really?
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's Fresh Time, which is ironically one of what Fresh Market, their rivals.
Oh, they're
Whole
rivals.
Foods, whatever they
Okay, yeah, I
bought.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't. I mean, again, if I didn't have them, our volume has decreased enough that it would be dangerous not to have them.
Hmm.
And they're
Yeah.
supposedly moving a what do you call it? An actual plant distribution center. I mean, into our area,
Hmm.
and that by itself could be scary
Yeah,
because
because
if
they use couriers a lot now.
yeah, they deliver a lot of that stuff on their own. And if they took that away from us, but they have a huge deal with us right now, which is
Hmm.
nice. And so we basically own them on Sundays. That's all we basically deliver is them on Sundays. Which I know this is kind of a tedious and boring conversation, but
Hmm.
it is important to understand that what they're doing with the world domination aspect is quite scary. And I really hope people just like having a huge corporation like that is dangerous,
Hmm.
and it actually makes the business stuff worse because the
Yeah, because there's
competition is taken away.
yeah,
Yeah,
less competition.
yeah. So people don't make better product. Everyone buys Apple, and then they hate it because the stuff breaks in less than a year. So, and who wants that?
Never
Like
said it wouldn't.
right, exactly. All right. Um, but yeah, that's basically my biggest pet peeve of the
Fuck.
recent working climate for myself, and
Hmm.
having them basically dominate my life, and I love it. I love the fact that they do it both at work and at home. Everything about it works out great. The simplicity of a lot of that stuff is fantastic, but it's so
Hmm.
damn scary. Like, I can't even stress how scary it is.
Yeah,
So,
especially with like the Echoes and stuff that people are buying. It's like, oh hey, let's have Amazon be right in my kitchen
oh,
at
yeah,
all
I have one.
times,
I have
listening
one.
to everything I say.
I didn't buy it. I don't know why the wife bought it, but she did. Whatever.
I mean, they're cool. They're great little pieces of technology. If you get them working with your house, having like the quote unquote smart house, that's fucking cool.
Yep. absolutely. Except again, it's just another way of them taking over everything. Because
Yeah, for sure.
what do they need it for?
World domination.
I
World
guess
domination.
to basically do something with it. But yeah. Oh, how did I miss that guy? Anyways, so let's go ahead and move on to the first real segment, the one
Okay.
I enjoy the most, and that's trending Twitter topics. Now, what I do basically, if you haven't listened to the podcast before, Nitrous, I get a couple of over the course of the prior week, I'll go ahead
Was
and
that you?
no, I might have been me who got shot in the head. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Oh,
And
sorry.
no, it's all right. So basically, I go across, the course of a week. I'll go and check Twitter. I usually check the trending Twitter topics as far as the moments, and I'll tweet out a moment because they're pretty damn funny. And I had a couple this week. The one that is, kind of important to what we're even doing right now was the Game of the Year and Game of the Year nominees. Now, obviously, as you know, with the ever self-gratification of our society, everyone needs their own award shows, and even video games. So,
Yep.
I want to go specifically over one topic, and that's just Game of the Year. Now, there were 5 nominees: Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PUBG, Super Mario Odyssey, and Zelda Breath of the Wild, with the winner being Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I'm actually happy for. I do enjoy that game a lot. I've played 3 out of the 5 games. I didn't play Persona 5, and I didn't play Horizon Zero Dawn, and I only played PUBG slightly, but the other 2, I actually have access to at all times. So I played both. I enjoyed Odyssey a lot, and I actually picked that one. When I saw the nominees, I picked that one to win.
Understandable.
Yeah, was not upset that Zelda won. That is also a life-changing type of game. Like, that was the type of game that my kids played, and they had the same type of ooh and ah that I did when I played Ocarina of Time. I was like, yep,
Yeah.
I can see how this would come together and be your type of thing. Now, have you played all 5 or any of these titles at all?
No. I am a terrible person.
All right.
Horizon Zero Dawn is the one that I probably have the most time with.
Okay.
My friend played it while I was playing Overwatch, and I watched him play it, so enjoyed it. Looked
So
looked a lot of fun. It was a beautiful game.
Yeah. All 5 of the nominees, I think, deserve at least some sort of credit. Now, so
I hate
your
PUBG.
weird noises that you're making makes me think that one of them you do not agree with.
I hate PUBG.
Hate
I
PUBG.
hate it.
All right,
I
hit me
hate
with
it.
it. I want to hear it.
I hate. Okay, I hate that it was on Game of the Year.
Okay.
Reason being, it's not done. It's not a complete game. It's still in beta, and it's broken as hell. Like, sure, it's super popular. It took over Steam. It's
Yes.
by far the #1 most played game of the year. Understandable. But it's super broken. It's really glitchy. Servers are kind of shitty. Well, I can swear on this, right?
Go ahead. It's fine.
Okay. After I swear. It's just they're not fixing a lot of the stuff that I feel like they should be fixing, like server issues. They're like, no, we're gonna throw in this $1 million tournament or $250,000 tournament or whatever, and the game's not ready. I don't think.
Right.
I don't think it should have been up for Game of the Year. I understand why it was because it's super popular, but if it won, I wouldn't have cared because I don't care about Game of the Year. I didn't play any of them.
Okay. All right. Well,
Like my entire year literally consisted of Overwatch and Destiny, and that was pretty much all I played the entire year for more than 4 or 5 hours.
at a clip. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's where you're wrong, and here's why. Here is
Alright.
exactly why PUBG should be. It was innovative.
That's you.
super innovative because they went ahead and yeah, well,
It wasn't the first of its kind.
done it better than anyone else. Now, granted, some people might argue it be a better game.
Fortnite looks fun as hell.
Yes, I would completely agree with that. It does look absolutely fun. But they basically took their whole game model, and there's a lot of game models out there that even the game we're playing right now is being tested, I believe, overseas to play for a survival mode, which to me is fantastic. Like, why wouldn't there be survival modes in every game that's a shooter? Even the Destiny 2 game that we play together, and that guy just roasted me. But yeah, I mean, you do agree that it was probably the most played game out of all the games that were nominated, or at least
I would.
Now,
I would agree with that.
Do you feel that it was that way because they took over not just Steam but Twitter as a whole?
Twitter, Twitch, all social media, it was super popular.
Yes, it was absolutely, yeah, and I did not mean Twitter, I meant Twitch specifically.
Yeah.
So all forms of streaming garbage stuff that I'm doing literally right now is what it took over.
Yes, exactly that.
And again, I thought I would hate the game. I did. And I find myself, having only played it sparingly, that every time I go to watch someone game, I will actually sit there and watch a Twitch stream of someone playing that game. And because I don't have a ton of access to it, basically, right now, because my computer is not up to snuff, only because it doesn't work. So, I basically am surviving on a laptop and my PS4. I do, however, thoroughly enjoy watching other people play, whether they're trying to do something crazy like Fuglit will do, which is a YouTube streamer. He does challenges, and actually the first challenge I ever saw him do, he completed in this first game. He played the Hitman challenge, so he basically just used handguns with no armor, no other weapons at all, just a handgun that could be silenced, and just played it from there. It was pretty amazing. And he actually also, to go along with the whole video game theme, that Dr. Disrespect, I found him on Twitch because of that game. I just wanted to watch someone play it. He was the top guy. I'm like, oh, we'll see how this is. Went and watched it, and I'm like, this guy's hilarious. And then he went and won Streamer of the Year and Trending Streamer of the Year, and I'm like, this guy's great. So the game has brought in personal enjoyment for myself, even though I haven't gotten to play it a ton.
Yeah, I get that.
I completely 100% agree with you. It should have not been nominated because it was a beta. And I don't care about all the problems they have. It's just not a finished product. Like, why should someone get nominated and not be an, you know?
Yeah, and those problems are because it's not a finished product.
Oh crap. Yeah. It's funny too, because you look at it like, well, if it was a finished product, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal, and it should have won. And thankfully, it did not. And probably, like I said, the best game of the year did win, so that was cool. It's just a matter of seeing what they do with the rest of it, you know?
Yeah. No.
So,
because they're coming out on Xbox soon.
Yeah, and there was actually some rumors going around that it's not just going to be Xbox console exclusive, that it will also come to PS4.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if it doesn't.
Right. I mean, why not? It's going to just make you more money.
Yeah, especially if it continues with its being being like $20, $30, something like that.
Yes, that's all it was on Steam, right? It was only like $20-$30, not even.
Yeah,
which
it might
I
have
guess
been 40.
Which I guess is probably shouldn't be a thing because it was just a beta. So maybe it shouldn't have cost anything. In the end.
I'm cool with if the team is actively working on the game charging money for it.
Yep.
So, but then I've also been boned on that personally. I'm not going to name the game. Don't want to
Oh no,
throw
go
it
ahead.
under the rug.
Name it. Throw it under the rug. Who
I
cares?
mean, I kind of felt it with Rust and
Okay.
Ark. Because for Ark, if I want to get all the DLC for Ark, even though I got the game before it launched, quote unquote,
Yeah.
it'll cost me like $60 still.
Okay.
And I already paid $30 for it.
Right.
So a little salty about that.
But it's a completely understandable complaint. It really is. And I get that. So, I mean, plus being burned for video games is not fun. And you and I literally had the conversation yesterday about being kind of burned by Destiny 2 stuff because they've hid some stuff behind paywalls, which went really bad when it came to EA Sports, not EA Sports, but EA doing that for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're also doing it for UFC 3 when that comes out, but it's not as publicized because it's not as popular of a game.
Oh, there you go.
But it's yeah.
All right. Well, all right. I think we got our point across on that. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Still going to talk about video games a little bit, but in a little bit of a different way. Another trending Twitter topic that I found was one that's kind of near and dear to me because it's a book I thoroughly enjoyed, and it's called Ready Player One. Now, the trailer has officially hit for the movie that's coming out, and I'm not even sure the date of the movie, but they're doing an adaptation.
March?
That sounds about right. I think it's the beginning of the summer blockbuster season. Oh, I just got blowed up. And so, you have watched the trailer. You told me you watched the trailer.
Yep.
What did you think?
Pretty interesting. Looks pretty cool. I have not read the book, so I don't really, know how it compares stylistically.
Okay.
I thought when they were in the what's it called? Like the
Oasis.
video game world.
The Oasis.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't want to call it the wrong name.
No,
so
no,
when
that's
they're
fine.
in the
That's
Oasis,
fine. I'll correct you with whatever I remember. Yep.
the fair. The CGI looks really good. It looks like they really took their time with it.
Okay.
One thing I'm kind of wondering is, does Steven Spielberg know all of the video game characters that are going to be in the movie?
I'm going to say no, because...
Does he know who Tracer is?
I don't think he knows who Chun-Li is either. Now, the funny thing about this, and obviously, like I said, it's going to go, and this is how it ties into video games, the book is basically laden with 80s video game references. So early first edition, first era video games completely. And that's why I fell in love with the game, because I'm obviously a little bit older than you, and that's where I grew up with games. Not as hardcore as some of the references, and some of the games they even talk about are just terrible games. Even though the person who wrote it, I believe is Ernest Cline, he waxed poetically about all the stuff that goes along with those games. And that's fine, because that was his personal experience. But see, here's where you're wrong about this, okay? This movie is going to be terrible. And it's going to be terrible because...
Okay,
go ahead.
Stylistically it looks cool. I don't think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be cheesy, cookie cutter, fight the revolution kind of movie.
Yeah, and actually that's exactly what the book is. But the book is great. But here's what's my biggest problem with this. Okay? My biggest problem is don't make an original IP, Hollywood, please. You don't need a basis. I guess maybe because they're so worried that if you don't have an IP with an already established base of people that'll go see the movie, they're worried about, not getting sales. But if you do the marketing right and you actually make a good movie, word of mouth will get that movie to eventually make money. You don't need to go and take every single book that has had any sort of following. And I mean, not every book comes out in a good movie. Hi, Twilight, and all those, and Maze Runner, and
Those aren't good books, though. Well,
oh
Maze
no,
Runner,
okay,
Maze Runner,
the
good
first
book.
Maze Runner was good. The other two were terrible. The second two were garbage.
Oh, oh, hey, it sounds like Hunger Games.
Right, Hunger Games
Womp womp.
actually. Little
I
known,
loved the first book.
yeah,
Loved
little
the
known
first book.
secret
Thought it
about
was
me. I
really
read all
good.
three. I hated all three books, and it's because
That's understandable.
they didn't make their character good. Like not like she's not well done. She's just not a good person. Like she, like straight up just not a good person. But
Fair.
enough about that terrible book. All right, let's go. So with Ready Player One, the best part of that book is just the terrible situation that they live in, but they get to go and live in this great, cool world that a nerd basically came up with, which is right up our alley, basically, on everything that we would enjoy about that culture. He makes into a grandiose situation to get away from this horrible future that, honestly, if we probably don't pay attention enough to, we might end up in. Hopefully we could get a place like Oasis, but yeah.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if Columbus would look that nice.
No, well, I mean,
In
you live
that
a little bit closer to
society?
Ohio than I do, but yeah, Columbus is the basis of the movie. Again, basis of the book, which is still pretty cool because it's not exactly a place where, a lot of books have been written about, that's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing I'm excited about with that movie is to see how well they just make the actual world of Oasis specifically. See how well they do with that. Now, when it comes to everything else, I'm not looking forward to any of it. Like, not even a little bit. I'm not looking forward to the video game references because they do 80s in the books, and the 80s stuff is great because it's kind of crappy, but the way the guy thinks about it, he loves it. So it's different and enjoyable. Oh, that shouldn't have killed me. But in the fact that he's using like Tracer, which is only a couple years old, and Chun-Li, which is I believe late 80s,
early 90s.
Yeah,
I don't know when did Street Fighter 1 come out?
I believe 1990 or 91. Don't shoot at me. Ugh, you got me. So already they're going away from the base material, and I know, and specifically Habegger, he's gonna come on my stupid channel on YouTube. He's gonna be like, but the creators or the people who are directing the movies should be able to adapt their own stuff into it. Meh. That's literally exactly what your boss sounds like all the time, and it's annoying as hell. And so he's gonna do that. He's gonna make a stupid post about it, and I'm gonna have to defend the fact that creativity. I understand that it's the director's choice to be able to have that kind of creativity, but if they don't do it in a good fashion, then what's the point of having the name other than the money? It's the only reason to have that name, right? Is because they're trying to bring in to get the money.
And with that exact thought process, does that make the Hobbit movies good?
No, the Hobbit movies are garbage, but the Lord of the Rings movies are fantastic.
Different. Those are completely different. They're not the same series. Peter Jackson did not direct the same movies. Different Peter Jackson.
Okay, so
I'm dissociating them.
Habegger has commented already on the YouTube channel because apparently knowing that he's listening, he remarks, "Knight, anything goes in the basement. Use them words and opinions." Apparently that was from a little while ago. And then he said, "No, I don't. I agree with you on this." Okay, that's interesting. He is always so combative with this type of stuff. He hates everything I talk about. He hates all my opinions.
I think he's just jealous.
Of my talking, or the fact that I have a awesome YouTube channel that only he's subscribed
to? Yeah, probably both.
Perfect.
Actually.
Yes, exactly. The hate is real from Habegger. All right, die, dude. All right, good. But yeah, I just I'm not happy about this at all. Like, at all. All right, where's this guy? I knew he was right there. The fact that Klein goes out of his way to do everything 80s is great. It's just great. It's just exactly how it should be because that was his experience. Steven Spielberg's experience, I don't believe, is in video games at all. In fact, the movie Super 8 is his experience, right? That's
probably,
because I believe he even said that Super 8 is exactly how his experience was.
That really wasn't a super video gamey movie.
No, actually, not at all. If you think about it, and I do think about it, unfortunately, because I am weird. So
I feel like I've seen Super 8. But
yeah, it's the one with the train and the kids are filming a movie and there's an alien. Like, that's basically his life, he says. Guys, they're going up to B if we want to get up there. There's like 4 of them heading that way. That guy just missed the snipe on me.
Cap.
Thankfully. So, Hobegger has left another comment about so much hate. He should have so much hate because this, and the sad part is, this is a book I wanted to see made into a movie. Like, straight up. I enjoy everything about that book. And I didn't actually physically read it, which is kind of funny. I listened to it on audio tape with Will Wheaton narrating, and it was great. Will Wheaton does an actual excellent job of narrating stuff.
Will Wheaton?
Will Wheaton? Why are you saying it so weird?
He has a really good talking voice.
Yeah, he actually did. I listened to a 30 for 30 podcast where they basically literally talk about the 30 for 30s that they've written. And there was one that they did about, about Madden, the football game. And
oh shit, that's me.
You're getting a kill, bro. And they talk about Madden football games, and what do you call it? And he does it. He does the commentary of them talking about how Madden's basically changed the world, which it has. It absolutely has, 100%. And but
definitely changed the sports video game world.
Oh yeah, I mean, it made EA what it is. Actually, the guy who started EA, he what do you call it? He wanted to make a football game as a and he couldn't figure out how to get anyone to play it with him. And I am rubber banding a little bit, so that's interesting. So that's basically my whole view on Ready Player One, and that's pretty much my whole view on all of... I just got gunned down. On all my trending Twitter topics. So I actually want to start another segment, which it's definitely going to be a reoccurring segment, but I don't think it's going to be a weekly one, but it's definitely one I want to have. And I'm actually going to bring in a third guest just for this segment. And it actually is Hobegger. And so, if Hobegger can speak, I'd like to hear him.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Now, Hobegger and I have a game that we play where he tells me about the anime he is watching, and I respond horribly. And... all he does is talk about how messed up Japan is, kind of, and the creators of those type of things. So, Hobegger, why don't you tell me what you've been watching and how it will disturb myself and Nitrous?
Sure. I actually am not going to talk about what I've been watching, even though I just finished a series called something. It's called Shimonate. Wow, I can't even read Japanese. That's great. It's a great start.
Did you take some Japanese in college?
I did. Shimoneta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. I just finished that series.
Okay.
And it's super messed up, and I'll send you the trailer of the opening part because it's amazing.
Would you be able to link it in the YouTube chat by any chance? When you get a chance. Don't rush. No rush.
Sure.
Can you link Pornhub too?
Actually, what I want to do tonight is there's a series, I'm constantly checking on news and getting reviews of anime and manga that's coming out, and every now and then one comes up and it just blows me away that this concept exists. And so I would like to tell you the name of a manga that's currently being drawn and produced and out there that people can purchase, and you have to guess the synopsis. And we'll have both of you do it, and then after this, I'll leave so you can finish up your show in their basement. Thanks for letting me stop by.
I appreciate it. Trust me. I'm sure my listener will definitely enjoy. Now, listener, it's you, Hub. Will enjoy this anime chat and this time we spend together.
All right, so real quick, this is the name of the thing. You tell me. We'll go with Uncle Ray first, and then what do you think this manga is about? The title of the manga is "Don't Meddle with My Daughter."
Don't meddle with my daughter. All right. My guess is that it's a play on words, and it's METAL, and it's actually a heavy metal band, and she's supposed to be the lead singer.
Oh gosh, that's actually like a really good guess. That's a really good guess. All right, Knight.
All right, so I think
Again, the title is "Don't Meddle with My Daughter."
I think it is a really weirdly specific throwback to 1990s wrestling with Vince McMahon and his daughter.
I like where this is going.
You know Triple H is gonna get that.
Yeah, and Vince has to accept that Stephanie is in love with Triple H.
Okay, you're both obviously wrong, but that's okay.
I actually think Nitrous is better than mine, but that's only because I love wrestling
Okay,
so
so
much.
He just got lit.
Yeah, he did.
I don't even know if I can give you hints about this without. All right. So I'll give you 2 words that go with the synopsis, and I'll see if you could change your guess. Okay.
Okay.
So, "Don't Meddle My Daughter" has to do with.
I just explained the 1990s wrestling. That's literally what it is.
I don't know why you keep telling him that he's wrong. It seems like it's
you
right
just
on
explained the Attitude Era.
Oh my gosh, that's so
To a
funny! I
T.
totally did. Totally did. I didn't realize it. So your guess stays. Uncle, any changes now that you know it doesn't have to do with metal music?
Is the daughter okay? Can I ask a question before I guess?
Sure.
Is the daughter made of metal?
No.
No.
Oh, that would actually be kind of badass.
Yeah, like if she was made of metal and can kind of more. Oh, it's Japan, right?
It is Japanese.
She
Keep that in mind.
clearly is in a giant mech suit, like Gundam style, which is made of metal. Yep. And she hangs out in nuclear radiation, which I believe is all of Japan.
And so you can't meddle with it.
Right, you don't want to meddle with that because if you meddle with that, it conducts electricity. I don't know.
That's more of a shouldn't meddle with my daughter more than a don't. I think.
Look.
Maybe it's a warning.
When you can
like,
speak
don't meddle with my
Japanese,
daughter.
you can make those type of comments. All right, Knight, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah.
Konbanwa, by the way.
Whatever.
All right. Here's
Can you
the
just tell us what it is,
synopsis.
please? It's driving me nuts.
Sure. Haruka Athena was once the superheroine known as Eighth Wonder, but
Heroin.
she dropped out of the scene. Huh?
Heroin, like the drug.
Yeah, heroin. Yeah.
Sorry.
But she dropped out of the scene after defeating the evil organization Blowjob, which was headed by her arch rival. 20 years have passed, and Blowjob has made a resurgence. So Eighth Wonder has risen to oppose them. Only this time it's not Haruka, but her 18-year-old daughter Claire, who goes behind her back to work with Nude, the secret organization Haruka once worked for. Though Claire seems to have the same array of superpowers, Haruka doubts that Claire is ready for what she's getting into. So she decides to lurk on the fringes secretly helping her out. Things get even more complicated when the villain turns out to have the same power as Haruka's dead husband. and once and one of Claire's close friends turns out to have a supervillain ties of her own. Oh my goodness, guys. Can you believe that Don't Meddle with My Daughter has to do with superheroes that are fighting blowjob? It's insane.
Okay, so this is gonna sound like an insult to who I'm saying this about, but did Kevin Smith write that?
Wow, how dare you say that about Kevin Smith?
I love Kevin Smith, but it makes sense because the Clip Commander, you know, all of the euphemisms. It makes sense.
So, this is what I'll tell you, okay? I have read 2 chapters of this manga, and then I had to stop, because it is basically hentai. But what you find out is that Haruka Athena, who the Eighth Wonder, had a daughter. That's all come out, but like, she finds out her daughter's fighting crime, and she gets really worried, because she's like, oh no, my daughter's going to be in these really uncomfortable situations, and everybody's going to see, because we're in the modern era with cell phones and everybody has a camcorder.
Sure.
And I guess like when, sure, yep, and or a
That's the
camera.
thing, huh? That's what
A cell phone.
they're banking on.
But back in the day, 20 years ago, when she was the Eighth Wonder, they could get a hold of any of that footage and get it deleted. But now there's just too much, right? So I'm like, you read the first chapter and you're like, okay, what kind of things are they talking about? Improper things. And of course, Eighth Wonder, the daughter Claire is fighting a giant robot. She cuts the arm off. The arm is still active, though. They see that on their technology screens. So
Technology
the old
screens?
Eighth Wonder.
What does that
Yep.
mean?
You know what I mean? It's
The technology
monitor.
screen, man.
I guess.
So old Eighth Wonder runs to the scene to try and save, and of course, giant metal tentacles come out of the base of the arm and
Oh, wow.
attack
See,
her. And
that's
basically,
that's what I should have guessed. Metal tentacles at some point. I don't know why I didn't guess that. That's so dumb of me.
they attack her, and then after she basically, what appears to climax, she defeats the hand and saved her daughter from getting attacked from behind by this hand. The second chapter, so I was like, wow, that's pretty bad. Let me read the second chapter, see if it gets worse. Way worse, guys. This is what happens.
Worse?
The second chapter. Yes. So all of a sudden these monsters start attacking. They look like plants. Think of Little Pet Shop of Horrors, right?
Yeah.
They
Little
start
Pep Shop
eating.
of Horrors?
Is that what it's called?
You mean Little Shop of Horrors? There's no pet shop.
Oh, Little Shop of Horrors.
Pet
Sorry,
shop
my
is a
bad.
toy.
Little pet shop.
That's great.
I may have seen a commercial.
Are you
So anyways, so these giant plants come and they just start eating up all the women around, right?
I'm
And they're like,
listening.
oh my gosh, they're man-eating plants. And then so when they go to fight them, right when they go to fight them, they start throwing up all the women, and the women are now
Sure.
dressed like Poison Ivy, right? And they walk up to like the military and they just start doing all the military guys. They're just going to town
Just
in the middle of the
sexually
street.
just doing that. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Fantastic.
And then after seeing this, the organization Nude discovers that, oh my goodness, these plants feed off of the erotic feelings that women have.
Sure. Makes sense.
I don't know.
Totally makes sense.
So,
I like where this is going.
so Claire starts fighting the plants on top, and her mom's like, "Oh, Claire, you're so naive. You got to go and attack the roots." So Athena goes into the sewers, and she gets attacked by a bunch of rats who have been taken over by the vines. She's like, "Oh, I don't even want to think about these being female rats." Like, it's so weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then she basically gets swallowed by the roots
Of course.
and is again attacked by tentacle monsters.
Of course.
And the best part is that she defeats the plant because her stimulus is super powered. So it's too much power for the plant to handle, and it explodes from all the energy.
Man, that is great. All I just like to say thank you, Hobegger, for bringing this horrible, horrible tragedy to light for me.
Guys, somebody wrote this and drew it and is still doing it, and people are reading it. Isn't that mind-blowing to you? It's mind-blowing to me. I couldn't believe it.
Not really.
Nitrous is just over. He's like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need that in my life.
I mean, I watch wrestling, and I have since I was 5.
As you should. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally real.
And there's nothing wrong with like hearing some weird hentai shit, you know?
I don't know.
Especially
it's just,
when it's a weird fanfic about China being the 8th wonder of the world.
Or having the 8th wonder of the world. I mean, don't they already have the Great Wall? So they already have enough.
That's China?
You said
it's the
China.
same thing. Yeah.
China. God damn it.
I will say this.
Such a creepy uncle.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for avenging me.
Style, by the way, the style of the manga and everything is very much pulled from American comic books, and it was really kind of weird to read that, and very interesting to see them kind of try to adopt those styles when it comes to like the look and feel of like the layouts of the, if you've read any comics, but then it was just like completely ruined by the horrible twisted ways that they would put the Eighth Wonder in terrible situations. But I mean, it should have seen it coming when they named the bad guy's blowjob and the good guy's nude, which nude is an acronym, by the way. I don't even know what it stands for because I didn't read that far.
Oh my god. Yeah. All right.
What was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? What did CLIT stand for? He was the CLIT commander.
Oh, I can't remember.
It was like the liberation. I know L was liberation.
Liberation was definitely a word that was in that.
They were trying to free the monkeys.
It was about animals, but I don't know what. All right, I'm done. I have officially
CLIT commander
ruined your minds, and now you're all gonna look up "Don't Meddle with My Daughter" and be like, "Why does this exist?"
No, I'll just come up to you a couple days at work and ask you what it is. You'll show me.
I won't show you. I will not. You're a young little sprout, and I don't want to
a little
poison you.
27-year-old.
All right, go to your next game. I'll talk to you later, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks for that insightful stuff, Hobegger.
I appreciated it greatly.
I do, and yet I don't. He really keeps me on the fence on that type of stuff, and it's sad. So yeah, that was a fun game.
At least he admitted it was weird.
I mean, you don't really have to admit that it's weird.
Part.
Just in general, it's just disturbing.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't hit me?
All right, so with his disturbing game, we're gonna go something a little less disturbing. We're gonna go and play everyone's favorite pastime game, and that is Onion or Not the Onion. Now, I gave you a little bit of heads up. No one has really been good at this game yet. With one answer being the most anyone's given so far, which is not very good, obviously. So all I do is I read a title to a potential news story, and you tell me whether it's real, which would mean it's the Not the Onion, or you tell me it's fake, which is the Onion. Now, for those who don't know, the Onion is a fake news organization, a legit fake news organization. Oh, they're fake.
Fake?
They are as
news?
fake as they come. Yeah, fake news. In fact, this is why I'm doing it, because it's kind of topical. So, all right. So let's just dive right into it. The first headline: Six Flags cancels massive snowball fight due to real snow. Is that Onion or Not the Onion?
Dude, I believe that would actually happen because, places like Georgia, places south who normally don't get snow this time of year got a lot of snow.
Okay.
So I totally believe that's not the Onion.
Not the Onion. That is correct. That happened in Atlanta, Georgia.
Did I fucking call that or
yeah, you were
what?
all over it. Nailed it perfect. Oh wow, I thought I killed that guy. Yeah, so yeah, in Georgia, they basically canceled that planned event that they had because of the liability of not being able to control real snow, because the fake snow they could control and they could make it how they wanted to make it. Okay, that guy should be dead. Don't give me that BS. All right, so headline number 2. All right, can my thing stop screwing up? Stop it, phone. All right. Oh, figures. It's of course gone. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. My.
Oh, are we gonna lose? Son of a bee.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just gonna. Here it is. Okay. The second. We lost by 1. That stinks.
Right.
The second headline. Dictionary.com names complicit as word of the year. Onion or not the onion?
Complicit. That's a pretty standard word,
Okay.
and it's been a pretty tumultuous year
Ooh, that's a big word. That's
use
not a standard
to
word.
use a dictionary word.
Well, I believe all words are in the dictionary, but that's neither here nor there.
Some of them probably aren't. Some
Right.
slang words like
Sure.
fam,
Okay.
all that other young millennial jargon. Yeah, I'll go with not the onion on that one.
Oh, that would be incorrect. That is an onion. That is actually quite a funny. So the whole thing. Dictionary.com is named complicit as word of the year, citing a massive spikes in searches for the word after Ivanka Trump uses this word in a CBS This Morning interview. What do you think? That's from The Onion. Quite funny. So 50%, still much better than just about everyone else.
I'll take it.
Where is my next headline? Where is it? Okay. Onion or not the onion? Toddler signals help in sign language during photo with Santa. Onion
Oh, fuck.
or not the onion?
I want to say the onion because that's fucked up. And because of that, I'm gonna say not the onion.
You're going to say not the onion. Well, you are correct, sir. That is not the onion, which makes
onion doesn't go that ham usually.
Yeah, they tone it down a little bit, but yeah. Apparently, and I'm actually going to read a little bit of something here. Every holiday season when Santa comes to town, children and their parents line up to meet the jolly big man, but one Maryland toddler wasn't having it. Carrie Spencer taught her son the sign for help in sign language, and during his photo with Santa, he made the sign.
Oh, thank God. Thank God it wasn't something terrible.
No, they did it because, they want to make sure their kids understand that being safe is key. Oh, wow, I get shot in the back. And...
yeah, I thought that was going somewhere much darker.
No. So, to keep going, it says, we taught our baby sign language. This is a sign for help. You're welcome, Spencer wrote. Apparently, Spencer tweeted out the hilarious photo on Tuesday and has gone viral with over 5,800 retweets and over 22,000 likes. It's just a kid sitting on Santa's lap with this concerned look, clearly looking at his parents off to the side, and he just has his hands in the symbol of help, and it's hilarious. So, quite funny. You are 2 out of 3, which makes you our grand champion.
I can 100% see the kid just sitting there like, fucking, oh, dude, I just got lit.
So I'm actually gonna read the last one that I had picked out. just for S's and G's because I think it's only fair that you
Oh,
get a
dude,
chance.
I want to be the best. I want to go 3 or 4s.
All
I
right.
mean, as best as I
I mean,
can.
technically, you're already the best, so that kind of
Oh,
helps out a little bit.
I want to solidify that.
All right. Here we go. Next headline. California is running out of inmates to fight its fires. Onion or not the onion?
That's probably not the Onion.
Is this your final answer?
Yeah, not the Onion.
It is. That is correct. It is not the onion.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah,
they've helped combat the flames since World War II, but with more and more intense fire season still ahead, a series of prison reforms have cut their ranks. So these people are providing a service even though they are not accepted in society.
And some of them can never vote again.
Right. So this
Well,
always...
they're probably felons at that point. So
More
they
than
probably
likely,
all
yeah.
can't vote.
So this leads us into... Well, me not being able to shoot well. There we go. Leads into the next segment that usually bleeds over into between the two segments. And it's always reading Reddit responses. And it's always quite funny to see how people feel about the various topics that we're going to put up. And this one, I'm going to read about the California wildfires. And it's specifically about this. So one guy writes, and actually is T-Roy766, says the
Shout
title
out
makes it
T-Roy.
sound like they're literally dropping the inmates out of planes onto the fire to smother them with their bodies. I am now refusing to actually read the article because my version sounds funnier to me. This is an amazing response.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Again, it's one of those things where all the stuff that's out there is probably, your thoughts are probably funnier and cooler than what actually is going to happen.
Yeah, right.
So
God, that's hysterical.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so good. So, another person, Sales Autopsy, writes, let's start using politicians now instead of waiting till they go to prison. So,
That's
apparently
sad but
this
true.
person does not enjoy... What just happened? Does not enjoy politicians in any way, shape, or form. Which is quite funny. So...
You know, they have a pretty shitty track record as of late, so, you know.
Yeah, but them complaining on the internet really not getting much done. Just saying.
Not on the internet.
All right, go take B.
Nice
I just
double
freaking
kill.
railed people. So there's someone behind us. I mean, for the most part, that's basically how the game's played. And with that segment being done, I am actually going to go ahead and call this one done. So what I do at the end is I like to see what my guest has been, what have you been consuming? And basically what I'm looking for is things that you've been consuming with entertainment media. Like I've talked about in previous podcasts, basically pod streams, excuse me, not podcast. Basically anything from movies and television to podcasts, comic books, whatever literature you have been consuming, feel free to let us know what you've been consuming, Nitrous.
So, as I said earlier, big fan of wrestling, so, you know, wrestling 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
So, you know, watching that a lot. You know, watch a lot of sports, trying to keep up, watching some football. You know, Twitch, YouTube, all that fun junk.
Is there anyone specific on Twitch you're watching at all? You want to give a free plug to somebody? Feel free.
Free plug. Free plug to the people that I watch. Like Moon_OW.
Okay,
He's
I know
hysterical.
Moon, and he plays a lot of very good
you
Overwatch
watch-
player. Yep.
He's a very good Overwatch player. He also plays a bunch of troll games.
Okay.
He's a he's a big fan of him. Uh, yeah, I mean, I usually turn on Twitch at 1 a.m. and I fall asleep. I should have killed that dude. I wasn't talking.
That's all right. Again, like I told you, not easy to do both of these at once.
Right?
So, personally, I have been into a couple of podcasts. Now, I'm gonna give you both at the same time, because they both basically revolve around Dungeons and Dragons. The
Yep.
first one is called Critical Hit. This group of guys, they're from Major Spoilers, and they do a D&D podcast. They're actually in between seasons right now when some of their better
Okay.
stuff does not come out. They're actually really good when they're doing their regular season. So, and what I mean by their regular season, they have a very long and drawn out campaign that they play completely on a podcast. And that guy is
Yep.
rubber banding all over the place. All the stuff that they do is
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. And when they're in between seasons, they'll play different types of role-playing games, not always D&D. The stuff that they're playing right now, I know there's people out there that really enjoy it. I'm not huge into it because it's a lot of political stuff, so it's kind of boring. But, you know, again, with the amount of stuff that they put in with everything else that they've done, I absolutely love them. And the second one is not quite as well known. It's called The Adventure Zone. This is
Uh-huh.
these are three brothers and their dad who, are you kidding me? This lag is killing me all the time. That go ahead and they just started playing role-playing games for the first time. They got through their first season, which was awesome. They did an excellent job with it, and they started their next campaign, but they were using the Fate system, not the regular D&D system.
Uh-huh.
Fate is actually a lot of fun.
I'm dead.
It's not something I've watched or played myself,
Uh-huh.
but it's quite well done. Like I can't stress how much I've enjoyed it. So those are the two things I have been watching or listening to, I guess you could say. And I have to say, they do a fantastic job with everything
Yeah.
they do, and they deserve their plugs. So that is basically it. Now, if you enjoyed your time in the basement, please feel free to like and subscribe on this fine YouTube channel, which is Creepy Uncle Ray 77. You can also find me on Instagram at the same address, Creepy Uncle Ray 77. You can find me on Twitter at just Creepy Uncle Ray, no 77s on that one. And you can also find my guest at OMG a Polar Bear on Twitter.
What
Feel free to go out and follow him. He does some good stuff every once in a while. He definitely enjoys interacting with the other wrestling crowd I've seen out there that he's done.
Yes,
quite
most definitely.
enjoyable. So yeah, Nitrous, I really appreciate you coming out and playing and hanging out and enjoying doing the pod stream with me, and now
Yeah,
being
definitely.
the absolute best at Onion or Not the Onion. People have something they're legit gonna have to shoot for. 3 out of 4 is nothing to shake a stick
Oh,
at, my
as I
friend.
get lit in the last play of the game.
Yeah, you and I were both destroyed in that
Yeah,
play of
that's
the game.
great.
So hopefully the conversation was better than the gameplay in some of those games. But yeah, also intro and outro music by Psycho, and the name of the song is World of Mine, and that is spelled SEICO, Psycho. You can find him on his own YouTube channel. Some of their music is really good, but I like this one more so than any other. For myself, Nitrous, I'll undo the duct tape so you guys can leave the basement. Please come on back sometime. Thanks for coming out. All right, you guys have a good night.